हेलो एवरीवन, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग ऑल। कैसे हैं सब लोग? मेरा नाम है अरविंद और हम हैं हैदराबाद बॉयज, वेयर वी टॉक ऑल थिंग्स क्रिकेट। एंड हमारे साथ है सौरभ।
Hello everyone, Namaste, Jai Shri Ram.
जय श्री राम। US cricket, because there's some really exciting news coming out of from US American cricket standpoint, the way they're going to grow as well. Introduction to what's happening in July. USA is finally getting an international tournament worth, which could shape the face of American cricket or the US cricket or cricket in general outside the main, the subcontinent and Commonwealth countries. America is probably the biggest sports market in the world. It's also the biggest, fastest growing, and also it's also the biggest media market in the world. It's also one of the fastest growing Indian American or Indian contingent or even Asian contingent and the Asian population in general. The Bangladesh, South Africa, sorry, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. In general, the cricket has been rising. लगता था कि as the South Asian population, and I'm including India in this particular segment, ग्रोज की यहाँ पे क्रिकेट का क्रेज शुरू होगा। और आई थिंक पिछले काफी सालों से द अमेरिकन क्रिकेट, आई थिंक एसी बोलते हैं, अमेरिकन क्रिकेट एंटरप्राइजेस वाज ट्राइंग टू गेट होल्ड ऑफ इट to do an international level tournament, but I think this is we are at a stage where this probably is becoming true कि cricket in America is finally going to get attraction, or within the next 12 months there are two marquee events which is happening in this country, which I think could be a game changer from the world of sport itself. क्योंकि America में the marketing, the media, the cricket, if it works, if it clicks, the amount of the traction, not just for the players in general, but also for the business aspect of the sport can grow a lot. तो मैं ये इंट्रोड्यूस दिखाना चाहता था कि लोगों को कि ये फाइनली लॉन्च हो रहा है. दिस इज कॉल्ड मेजर लीग क्रिकेट. Essentially, it's a 2020 league modeled by IPL, all on the lines of IPL. Um, America or US is also hosting the 2024 T20 World Cup. So this is kind of like the precursor to how cricket can grow in this country. Um, 6 teams are in this squad, and I thought I'll give a quick इंट्रोडक्शन की ये क्यों इतना पॉपुलर होने वाला है और why Indians are noticing it much more, not just Indians in this part of the world, but Indians even in India. क्योंकि अगर आप देखोगे, there are 6 teams which have been 6 franchisees select हुए हैं. Many of them are owned by the IPL teams because IPL teams को पता चल गया है कि brand value of the team is much bigger now as the cricket has exploded since IPL has become famous. तो आपके 6 टीम्स जो हैं, एक है लॉस एंजलिस नाइट राइडर्स, विच इज एक्चुअली फ्रॉम द कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स. दे एक्चुअली परचेज द टीम. इट्स दे ओन इट, and they are going to be based out of Irving, California. Then you have got MI New York. MI here is Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians is owning New York franchisee, and उनके कैप्टन है किरण पोलार्ड. जो Kiran Pollard is also the MI's star player, ambassador, coach. He's kind of been with the Mumbai Indians for a long time. And you got San Francisco Unicorns, which is kind of based on from San Jose, California. Interestingly, there's a tidbit here. Anand Rajaraman and Venki Harinarayan are the owners. They actually are ex Walmart executives. They actually Walmart purchased them, so that's like a business tidbit there. Ki they actually had a company called Cosmics. Walmart purchased them, and then part of it it was a thing called Inkuru or something. And so they were part of the Walmart e-commerce group, and they kind of left out. They were serial entrepreneurs, so they kind of ventured out of after joining Walmart a year or two later, went and did on other venture entrepreneurship work, and they're basically billionaires. And that's owned by Aaron Finch is the captain of it. And मैं भी थोड़ा आपको team बताऊंगा, and I want to get your perspective and into this. Seattle Orcas is the team on the Seattle side, on the West Coast, headquartered in based out of Redmond, Washington. And Redmond is interesting because the team is owned by Satya Nadella, Microsoft. So the owner of Microsoft is the owner of Seattle Orcas. He's partnered up with GMR Group. So you got like big wigs of the Hyderabad GMR, kind of investing into it. Satya Nadella himself, I believe, is a very big cricket fan, and he wanted to do that whole promotion of cricket in this part of the world, and so he owns that. Texas Super Kings, based out of Grand Prairie, Texas Grand Prairie, Dallas का suburb है, satellite बोल सकते हैं. It's part of the Dallas for Fort Worth metropolitan area. Owned by Chennai Super Kings. They are the owners of it. So Faf du Plessis is the captain, and Stephen Fleming is the coach. So you got the whole Chennai, the crew of TSK, venturing into it. And the last one is Washington Freedom, which is part of the East Coast, Fairfax, Virginia area. That's I think owned by Sanjay Govil, and I actually don't know who that person is, but I'm going to find that out a little bit after some next by the next time. Moses Henrique is another coach of it. So very interesting aspect of it कि ये cricket is catching up in USA because जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ Arkansas में यहाँ पे भी आज cricket leagues have gotten bigger. There's a formal cricket pitches coming into the play this season. It's growing and अब वो evident हो गया है कि it's going mainstream. And so IPL teams have realized that great place for us to catch the opportunity here. 2020 is the right format for the country here. कि 2 घंटे 3 घंटे से ज़्यादा people are used to watching Super Bowl, NFL, baseball, which is the closest cousin from an American standpoint. It get done in 3 घंटे में हो जाता है. मतलब they're kind of wrapped up, and there's all snazzy, jazzy stuff with NFL in general. There's a dance drama and the whole package, the way they do it. IPL or the whole 2020 is the closest format they could do it. I thought I'd just show you the team here. I'll spend this time here. So uh, you got Kolkata here, or I should say LA Right Riders. You got Unmuk Chand, who was an ex-Indian under-19 player. You got Lockie Ferguson, Martin Guptill, and Spencer Johnson's from Australia. And then you got a couple of the domestic players, but essentially are all Indian origins. Like Unmuk Chand is now plays for USA, but had roots from India under 19. You got Riley Russo, Sunil Narayan, Jason Roy. So you suddenly are getting like international stalwarts here. Andre Russell, and then Adam Zampa here. And then so you get to see the mix of international star and with the American Indian contingent here. So that is आपका Kolkata Knight Rider. San Francisco अगर आप देखोगे, Corey Anderson has actually moved to US. He was an ex-New Zealand player. Now he's an American citizen. Kind of shifted his allegiance there. So he plays for US. Now he's here. Aaron Finch plays now for this team. You got Lungi Ngidi, Liam Plunkett, who people remember was an ex-England player, Marcus Stoinis, and then so that's kind of like the team of San Francisco. अगर आप न्यूयॉर्क का मुंबई इंडियंस का देखोगे, मुंबई इंडियंस न्यूयॉर्क has Jason Behrendorff, who's an international player, Trent Bolt, Evolved Brewis, Tim David. Then you got Rashid Khan, that's an international, this World 20 superstar. Sarbjeet Ladda, I remember this guy, I think played before as well, I think in the Indian setup. And you got Kieran Pollard and Nicholas Spuren, the Australian thing, and David Weiss and Kagiso Rabada. And that team is already looking very international driven team in terms of the way they are structured in. और आपका है Seattle Orcas, ये जो Satya Nadella's owned the team. Quinton de Kock is part of this one, and then you got like Wayne Parnell, you got Sikandar Raza from Zimbabwe, Dustin Shanaka from Sri Lanka, and then mixed up with the American Asian contingent players. आपके Washington Freedom जो आता है, which is from the side, you got Ben Dwarshuis, Australian player. You got Vanindu Hasaranga, Moises Henrique, Marco Janssen, Adam Mill. And Saurabh Netravalkar used to play for India once upon a time, and under 19, the India Ranji side. Andrik Nokia, Josh Phillip, Glenn Phillips, and then a couple of other, the domestic, the American contingent. and the last team you have is Texas Super King. इनके logos भी सारे वही है CSK की तरह, you know, the same symbol of that and all of that. So you got here, यहाँ पे Dwayne Bravo is the, you know, this thing, Devon Conway, Faf du Plessis, David Miller, Gerald Coetzee, Lahiru Milanta, Ambati Rayudu. So first Indian. So Ambati Rayudu has been, now that he's retired, is now here. Daniel Sams, Mitchell Santner, and then you got Rusty Theron, who's an, I think, ex-South African player, moved now into this thing. So very exciting hai, for American cricket in general, that, you know, they're going mainstream, and I think this is going to be a big hit here, because this is the kind of tournament people would like here to spend. They don't, you know, they want it to fast-paced, you know, quick action. Sets up very well for a 2024 T20 World Cup in USA. Really looking forward. Actually, I am thinking, you know, to head out to Dallas next month to try and see if I can get tickets for this one, and then check one of the games out. Maybe a double header. See a Mumbai or HNI, you know, or the MI, or, you know, the Texas Super Kings sort of a scenario. But yeah, what's your take on this one? With what, I know we all have a different opinions of IPL, but growing cricket in a country like USA, I think it's a big, big, big thing.
और इसके so इसके ना Mervis काफी सालों पहले आ गए थे. I mean, I do remember एक time पे West Indies से there was this American businessman who was trying to, you know, get cricket in America, लेकिन कोई corruption हो गया था, and it just couldn't move forward. The first you know, significant movement that I basically saw was Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson जब ग्रो हुए थे, and I know कि Corey Anderson उस समय तक उनका न्यूजीलैंड में करियर ऑलमोस्ट खत्म हो चुका था, लेकिन that was one movement. लेकिन the second biggest moment for me was Liam Plunkett. Liam Plunkett was in his prime as far as, you know, he playing in England. Liam Plunkett has played a pivotal role in 2019 World Cup. और वो अच्छा खेल रहे थे. And then I got this news कि, you know, he's moving to US and he's going to play the cricketing leagues there. तो जब एक हवा सी एक बननी शुरू हो गई थी, US possibly could be a big market, and you have almost 5 to 6 million Indians living there, if my number is right, and I'm just talking about the Indian contingent. You have the Pakistani and you know, Bangladeshi contingent. You have quite a bit of Sri Lankan contingent living there. So
and the Commonwealth contingent in general, like the Englishmen, the Australian, you know, whom they want to, you know, enhance, because, you know, if the pay is good in terms of contracts and everything, it could become very exciting market for some of these non-Asian contingent like South Africa and all of the others. So you're looking at a bigger population.
और एक और एंगल्स में आप ला सकते हैं, the group of the West Indies, जो islands है वहाँ, which is very very near to Florida वगैरह वगैरह, और तो वहाँ के भी players, you know, they can make them part of, they can also be a part of this particular league, जो कि मुझे लगता है जरूर होंगे बाद में आते आते. I know that I only saw Kieron Pollard या फिर 2-3 वेस्ट इंडीज के प्लेयर्स, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि जो करंट वेस्ट इंडियन प्लेयर्स हैं, लाइक ऑफ हेटमैयर, पुरान, होल्डर, सुनील नरेन मुझे शायद दिखे थे, तो ये सब भी इस लीग में, यू नो, दे आर गोना प्ले अ पिवटल रोल. और अगर क्रिकेट को ग्लोबल करना है, आई मीन वी कैन ऑल, यू नो, बैश अमेरिका फॉर ऑल डिफरेंट रीजंस, लेकिन फैक्ट रिमेन्स, एंड द फैक्ट इज कि भाई अगर आपको क्रिकेट को ग्लोबल करना है, अमेरिका कुड बी योर बिग टिकट टू मेक इट ग्लोबल. आई थिंक ICC हैज ट्राइड देयर बिट्स, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं लगता इन द लास्ट 30 years of me watching cricket game so closely उतना fruitful हुआ है. नो देयर हैव बीन few nations here and there जो कि आए हैं, likes of Bangladesh, maybe Ireland, Kenya एक बार आया था, लेकिन everyone knows where Kenya is. And majority of the countries have kind of subsided. Or agar, you know, T20 league is the way forward to, you know, popularize this game of cricket, then America, you know, could be you know, the key player or key market to make it look. So apart from the Commonwealth, apart from the Commonwealth nations, agar Canada bhi, ek aur cheez, I know there are, you know, few friends of mine who stay in Canada, और वहाँ पे भी आपकी इंडियन कंटिंजेंट, और कनाडा खेल चुकी है वर्ल्ड कप. कनाडा वर्ल्ड कप खेल चुकी है. आई नो वही इंडियन और पाकिस्तानी प्लेयर्स, यू नो, प्लेयर्स होंगे कनाडा में, लेकिन वहाँ का भी एक मार्केट आ सकता है इस लीग में.
The future is bright in North America for cricket in general. I mean, Only thing I heard was the USA cricket का वो थोड़ा allegations चला था कि the mismanagement of the funds. I mean, there was some, again, it's not the professional body of, the full ICC, members, like, the 10 test cricket. So I think that there has to be that evolution of the USA cricketing authorities administration itself. But मुझे वो लगता है कि अगर IPL जैसे, IPL is now a world leader branded franchisees. They are one of, they compete with, the top of the top elite in terms of brand value and the way they run the clubs. That could help the USA cricket administration, the way they
Absolutely.
want to manage in terms of professionally managing cricketing body and all of that. And I think would help them as they get to the 2024 World Cup next year. Jo, it's happening in West Indies and USA. So as you rightly said, West Indies, Canada, there's this big potential in terms of cricketing, not just, not just America in general, but the entire region has that wider potential of cricket being, absorbed and seen in it.
और एक और चीज आई थिंक वहां के जैसे आपने ओनर्स बताया, आई थिंक देयर इज नो शॉर्टेज ऑफ मनी. आई थिंक बस यही है कि कि मार्केट कितना बड़ा है यूएस में. आई थिंक वी जस्ट स्पोक अबाउट द नंबर्स, इट्स क्वाइट सिग्निफिकेंट. जैसे मैं आपको बताऊंगा 12-13 मिलियन लोग भी हैं अगर देखेंगे इंडिया, अगर इज द बेस. एक एग्जांपल दूंगा, मैकग्रेगर और फ्लॉयड मेवेदर की जब बॉक्सिंग फाइट हुई थी, तो इट्स अ बिग, बॉक्सिंग इज बिग इन यूएस. उसको 4 मिलियन लोगों ने देखा, 4 मिलियन. तो I don't see any reason why at least the 50 to 60% of the subcontinent contingent who is staying in US may not watch this. So I think it has all the ingredients to be big and possibly make the sport global. I think देखते हैं कैसा होता है. I think a precursor also would be, I don't know ये tournament कब scheduled है, लेकिन
yeah, so the tournament is scheduled starting from July 13th. So it's in the 3 weeks, which is why I was very curious, which is why I was kind of hoping, Virat Kohli and others could have been rested. Youngsters would have played in the West Indies side of setup, and then you will see the other, the other players around, in the American side, playing the T20. It would have been a great exposure. So it's basically tournament shuru ho raha hai 13th of July. So it's basically 3 weeks from now, and we'll just finish up right at the end of the July. So I know some of these cricketers, international cricketers today, are no longer in the international scene. But, this becomes a hit. Basically, IPL 4 teams are making money, not just in India, but, in international space as well. But yeah, exciting times for American side of the cricket in general. I think मैं पिछले हफ्ते या 2 हफ्ते पहले मैं देख रहा था randomly, I think NBC News was covering it. So Americans usually don't cover anything outside the top 3 sports. Even the soccer itself is not the top 3 sport, and लोगों को पता नहीं होगा कि American football, or I say football because it's from an European standpoint, but they call it soccer, is the top 15 team in the world, and that's still not like, it's not NFL, it's not NBA, and it's not baseball. That's your top 3, the big 3. So cricket is barely scratching the surface. I mean, the average American still will not understand it, but as the the immigrant population grows in the country, cricket's continue to rise, I would think.
Yeah, I think just one point. I think BCCI is missing the trick here. I mean, if India wants to spread its hegemony in terms of cricket, want to make their stars and themselves global, I think there's an opportunity here कि थोड़े से Indian players यहाँ पे आके खेले.
Yes, I'm kinda hoping that should have been done. But I think they're waiting. I mean, right? When the T20 started, they were so hesitant. And then when India won the World Cup, I was like, yep, IPL karte hain. My take is I think they're gonna wait and watch कि see inaugural season कैसा जाएगा. If it gets successful and there's what do you call demand here, because you can see the Texas Kings, MI, New York, these are all still the Indian franchises, right? I think they would figure out with IPL, the BCCI saying, हमारे players जिनके खेलते हैं ना, ask them to move to New York for 2 हफ्ते. It's a 3-week tournament, so you're looking like, they'll fly them for 2 weeks, play with us, go back. imagine Rohit Sharma coming to New York and playing a MI. That would bring new level of audiences for MI, or Dhoni becoming mentor for Texas Super Kings. That would be like blowing Texas in the bowl. So you're right. I think BCCI should do it, but my opinion is I think maybe they're waiting and watching and seeing that 2024 World Cup badal jaye and then more demand hoga and then we'll launch our cricket. If they do it, they are. I mean, there's only one country which can globalize cricket, and that's India. If they catch hold of it, India can globalize it. So let's wait and watch and see if that happens. Yeah, thank you everyone who are watching or liking. Please subscribe. We really are happy that people are subscribing to our channel, and I just want more comments. Give us a feedback. What are the things you would like us to talk, or what are the things you want us achha or boliye, or any other topics you have in your mind. Share that in the comments. We will definitely spend some time in doing some of that in the future videos. But yeah, thank you again. Please like the video, please subscribe, and please share it with your friends and family and everyone. We'll talk again later. Till then,
Bye.
goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.